yesterday stunk for the Astros, too. This weekend wasn't great for the Astros. Had it not been for Jake Myers turning into the Buddy Hield of baseball players on Saturday, this would have been a really awful weekend for the Houston Astros. The one good day was Jake Rake Day on Saturday, where he had 7 RBIs. He said, screw this, I'm not getting a cycle. Instead of a single, I'm going to get a second home run. How do you like them apples?
Right. Yeah. Let's not be cute here. Let's just mash.
That's right.
And both of those, they were nice home runs. Both of those home runs would have been home runs in all 30 ballparks.
Yes.
He just crushed them. All of his hits were over 100 miles per hour exit velocity. It was nice to see. You wonder, okay, how can we put that in a bottle and bring it back to Houston? Because it seems like he thrives in the cold weather, and he had a bunch of family there at the game as well. I mean, Can we get a dormitory for his family to come stay in Houston or something?
Family,
and keep it in 55 degrees all day long?
And those big blowers that they use for us out on the pregame for the Texans when it's hot out, can they wheel like 3 of those out there and just put them around the batter's box when he's up in the plate? Cool things off a little bit, you know?
Likewise, McCullers pitching in his first game in 900 days or whatever. Yeah. I would have preferred that it wasn't quite so cold and rainy and miserable yesterday.
Yes.
Because Lance fought his – look at the box score. It looks pretty good. He fought his way through 3 1/3 innings that a lot of us, I think almost everybody was surprised he came out for the 3rd inning. And then he came out for the 4th inning, and it was even more of a surprise.
It was 3 2/3, and I know that because that last pitch that got cut, because that would have closed the inning out, and he would have been, he would have gotten 4. Yeah. He got squeezed.
Yes.
He got squeezed. That's the only reason I bring it up. Yeah.
He'd gotten some beneficial calls in that at bat. Like he could have walked him several pitches earlier.
Yeah. Even in the 2nd inning when he loaded the bases, some of these pitches I'm like, oh, this ump sucks, but I'm not going to say anything right now because he sucks in our favor right now.
One of my people on X said, in fairness to the ump, nobody knew where the hell those pitches were going.
No, yeah,
the ump to try
he was wild. Okay, so let's dig into this because there was some good and some bad with Lance. The good obviously was when he needed to bear down, he did, and he didn't give up any runs. Pitch count, I think the other positive, and for those who didn't get to see that yesterday, maybe you were prepping for the Rockets game. The Astros lose 5-4 in the game itself. If Lance weren't pitching, the big story would be they somehow found a way to blow a game where they were rushing to get it through 5 innings because the rain was coming in and they're up 4-0. And then by the 6th inning, they're like, "Rain, please stay away. We just gave up 5 runs." The bullpen blew that game, and Zach DeZenzo just had a horrific dropped fly ball that opened the door, scoring all the runs. But yes. The big story yesterday was Lance McCullers. This is what his box score looked like. Then we'll hear from Lance, and then we'll dig into it ourselves. 3 2/3 innings, trafficky. He gave up 3 hits, walked 3 guys. He hit a batter, did have 4 strikeouts, so some of the stuff was looking good. I would say the 3 walks don't begin to describe just how wild he was in this game. Like if we're judging, if we go with the theory that not all balls can be judged the same in the box score. No, he got his money's worth on some of these sweepers and curves and sinkers that were tailing way the hell out of it.
They were extra balls.
Yeah,
they were balls plus.
They were ballsy.
There should be when you score it, you should be able to write a ball plus on it. It was like 3 and the count was 3 plus and 2.
He was wild. But again, at the end of the day, he was able to get out of there unscathed. Here was Lance McCullers after the game on his performance yesterday.
Overall, solid. Just felt like overall stuff was pretty good. I just for whatever reason just didn't feel the slider was not obviously very good. So you got a team that's 5-6 guys deep with the righties. One of my main weapons, main game plans is kind of evaporates kind of in front of you. But overall, I was happy with the overall stuff. Physically, I felt strong through the game. And wish there in the 2nd, after those couple quick outs, I did a better job. Didn't let the inning get long on me. That's kind of with the count, I think, throwing, another 20-plus pitches there in the 2nd, and was 1 pitch away from getting out of there with mid-30s. So
they let him throw 87 pitches in this game. The most he'd thrown in his rehab starts was 71. So they let him throw 87 pitches, and Seth, he nailed it. That 2nd inning was the one. That's the one where they loaded the bases, but it was all with 2 outs. If he can just get out of that inning and they were going to let him go into the mid-80s pitch-wise, he might have gotten 5. You might have gotten 5 full out of him pretty easily.
Well, and I can see, everybody was wondering if they were going to, because Taylor Scott was warming up in the bullpen in that second inning. You're wondering if he's going to come out for the third, and he does, and he faces 3 batters, looked great, and then you're wondering, okay, but he's getting up close to his pitch limit for the day. Are they going to send him out? They did. Taylor Scott continues to warm up. And then I was starting to worry about Taylor Scott, if he was going to come out kind of too far off of his routine from the warming up for so long. I think the weirdest thing, right from the get-go, his slider was like 80 miles an hour, and it just didn't look like it had the right kind of movement on it. And a lot of the classic Lance you just didn't see. So you started leaning on his changeup. This is where things get weird with Lance, because I'm trying all your sense of time and like how much time has elapsed kind of evaporates, because I was thinking as he's throwing all the changeups, it's like, yeah, didn't he just add that? And kind of, but it was in 2018 where he really tried to really work on changing his and improving his changeup. But that was only a couple seasons ago.
All feels like a long time ago with Lance. The whole thing. Yeah. So didn't throw any fastballs, not a single one. It was all off-speed stuff.
Yeah. And his velocity, and that's where I wonder with the cold especially, if hopefully that's something that comes back with a combination of just getting out there more and then also with some more comfortable environments. Can they break the air conditioning again this year at Dyken Park when Lance is pitching?
Up. Yeah, when Lance is pitching.
They got to be careful because they can't do Framber needs all the help he can get though too. So it can only be on Lance Day.
Yeah. So I guess overall, what are we grading? If you had to give Lance a grade for how are we feeling about his performance yesterday?
I'll give him all things considered, and given the fact that as they were talking about during the broadcast, and people have realized that it's a different strike zone. They didn't change the strike zone specifically, but the umps are calling a tighter strike zone this year because they get less of a buffer when they get graded.
Yeah.
They moved the buffer outside the strike zone from 2 inches down to 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
And so for Lance, who hasn't seen it, the other pitchers have been dealing with it all season long. This is Lance trying to adjust to really a tighter strike zone. These guys were calling a tight strike zone.
Yeah.
And that's where I get nervous about Framber too. So I give Lance a B.
I give him a B too.
Considered.
B was what I wrote down. I give him a B. And the things that buoy the grade up, that pull the grade up. He threw 87 pitches. I don't think he looked weaker in the 4th inning than he did in the 1st inning or anything like that. And I think the 1, 2, 3 inning, Seth, that you pointed out, I think we should point out that was the middle of their order. I know it's a bad team, but it was their 3, 4, and 5 hit.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good too. So I'll give him a B also. A B for
they're the worst. They're the worst offense in baseball, or one of the worst offenses consistently. So it was a nice soft landing for him.
Yeah.
But obviously he'd be the first to tell you he's got to pick it up. He's got to just look more. So that was a great for him, and what you're hoping to get out of him. It's not he got out without allowing any runs, with a tip of the hat to Taylor Scott on that one. But